morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is Friday, October 19th, and we may have a little winds out there later on today. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today from United, Jenny Durrell is here, and she's brought along John Reed. John is one of our alterations inspectors, and they're going to go over a few different things. We're also going to give you out a phone number that you can call if you ever have questions about what you may be doing at your residence. Sterling Financial Advisors Dan Ohlweiler is here, and the topic today is the COLA increase for Social Security. So we'll tell you what the average amount is going to be and how they come up with that formula as well. Carol Moore, the mayor of City of Laguna Woods, will stop by. She's got several different things that she's going to talk about today, and then we're going to bring you the Thrive segment. Now, as far as meetings go, there are no meetings, so I can get right to the weather. And as I said yesterday, we are going to be under a red flag warning all day today. Do expect some winds. They haven't hit this area yet. They have more north of us. Not too bad, and I'm really not expecting a whole lot, but the wind advisory and the fire red flag warning will be in effect all the way through 8 o'clock tonight, and then tomorrow we may get a little offshore breezes. The main thing is we are getting a lot of heat today. 87 degrees, as you can see. This will be the warmest day that we've had. And then moving forward, we're going to go down to more normal conditions as we hit Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That morning fog will be back. Looks like it's going to be a little bit thicker on Tuesday. So that is good news. So a couple more days of this warm weather, and then we'll get back down to that cooling fog that'll come back in. So that's good. Around the state this weekend, because of this high pressure, it is sunny just about everywhere. I mean, really everywhere, even up in the North Coast. Excuse me, when I say mostly sunny, that's because they're going to get a little bit of the fog in the morning. But even the Bay Area doesn't look like they're going to get much of fog, or the Central Coast, or San Diego. Tahoe and Yosemite looking good. Look at Yosemite Valley, that's where I give the temp from. 70 degrees, absolutely beautiful up there. Some of the fall colors are coming in. Big Bear, they get a 10% chance of Sunday rain. That is really kind of iffy right now. That's because there's that low pressure system that is still bringing rain into Arizona, could sneak back in here. So right now we're looking at a 10% chance on Sunday. So not much at all up there in the mountains. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're still out there chasing what matters. At Aetna, we're committed to taking care of the whole you. With Medicare Advantage plans that offer health coaching and fitness memberships, plus hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage in one simple plan, with $0 copay for annual wellness exam. Aetna Medicare Solutions. Call today to learn more, and we'll send you a $10 Visa reward card with no obligation to enroll. Or visit us at aetnamedicare2019.com.
Maxi Comfort from Golden is the most comfortable lift recliner in the world. Its patented technology glides smoothly into a variety of positions not found on most recliners. Everyone loves the programmable auto drive control. You can lift and recline, watch TV or sleep, and enjoy the feeling of weightlessness in zero gravity. Made by American workers and backed by the industry's best warranties. Feel relaxed in a Maxi Comfort lift recliner. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From our delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
We love to show people that our sight loss won't hold us back. Thanks to free classes at Braille Institute, we're returning to the things we love. We're connecting with the world using today's technology. And we're learning to get back in the game. Thanks to Braille Institute, it's about what we can do, not what we can't.
Get information about free programs available from Braille Institute Anaheim, or learn about our new center in South Orange County by calling 1-800-BRAILLE or visit brailleinstitute.org.
Well, with me today from United is Janie Doral, and she has brought along John Reed. John is one of our alterations inspectors. And welcome. Nice to have you both here today. So Janie, I'll go to you first. I know you are on the committee with United that oversees alterations, and we've talked about in the past how important it is to make sure everything is done right.
Exactly, exactly. And John is new, and he is with United, and we're really excited to have him join us.
Yeah, great to have you here. You've been with us for, you told me, about 4 months.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, 4 months. About
okay. Now, coming up on Monday, I think, of next week, the new office is opening, right? Or basically, they're taking one of the meeting rooms we used to have and now revamping them. And so it'll be much easier for people to come in, and contractors as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So on Monday the 22nd, the alterations office will be officially open. We're right across from the Pine Room. So it's in the community center, just down the hallway, right across from the Pine Room. Yeah, it's going to be really nice. It's really nice in there.
Yeah, and this will be a good benefit, because I know it was mentioned that people come in, they want to talk, and when they're coming up to the desk up there, it made it very inconvenient. And this way people can really sit down and go over things, right?
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I know, Janie, that you've gone over before is when people are planning on doing something, the process needs to start with alterations. They need to find out, is this an alteration? Is this something that I can do without a permit, or something I need a permit and done correctly, right?
If you need a variance, or
Yeah,
if you can just go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah. But once they clear through the department and have approval, they have to go over to the city to get their building permit there.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first step is to make sure it can be done first here,
Yes,
and then
go through the
second
process,
step.
and don't forget, you have to go to the city for the permit.
Yeah. And what kind of things need a permit?
Well, when it comes to permits, if you're doing a kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, of course, those need permits.
Yeah.
When it comes to changing out your front door, a door alteration, you need to get a mutual consent for that, so that we know it's in the system. So if you ever go to sell, then it's in the system, and the more we know, the better.
Okay. And as far as what you do, are you going to be in this office, or do you actually go out to the manors?
I will be in the office, and I'll also be going out to manors. So if somebody wants to come in and book an appointment or something like that, they can call in or email us, and we're more than happy to go out and meet with them and go over the project that they want to do.
Okay, and we're going to put the number up on the screen, but it's 597-4616. Correct. And you guys are opened 8 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Yes.
So if anyone needs to call in and get a hold of you, that would be the step to do. Now, a lot of times, as you said, Janie, there are variances, and some people may not know there's a lot of material available. However, for a lot of people, they may want to do something. They may not even think, well, do I need a variance for this? Right?
They just need to go into property services, and we've got a lot of information on what type of work needs to be done that they're trying to do, and they can guide them. If you just don't need a permit, there's some things that you don't have to have a permit. There's some that you do, and some that you can just go to the window and get it approved, and then go over to the city for the permit, or then you have to go through my committee for a variance.
Okay. Yeah, and John, when we talk about the different kinds of permits, you folks may require a permit for the mutual, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have to then go to the city for a permit.
Correct. Like I was saying earlier about a front door.
Yeah.
You need to get a mutual consent from us, but you don't need to go to the city to get a permit.
Right.
Yeah.
But always good to check first.
Always, yes.
So as far as the process goes, How long does it take? Does it just depend on what the individual wants to do? And I'm not talking about now they get the contractor and that sort of thing. That's a whole different, you know, that for them, they got to worry about that process. But how long does it take for someone to, they contact you and then be able to get that permit back?
Normally within 48 to 72 hours, we can have
Okay.
it back to them, and then they can move forward from there.
Okay, and then can you advise them, this is something you also need to see the city on?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're more than happy to do that.
All right, and that's a good benefit as well. So that way they come to you first, figure out what I'm doing, what you guys are doing, if this is all right, and then if they need to go to the city to get an additional permit, and you help them out.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They can also have an appointment so they can bring all their plans in and have a private sitting for if they have some questions.
Okay.
And it's really better to have an appointment if you're really doing a large job.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Go through the process because the long run will make things a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Anything else you'd like to add today, Janie?
Not really, you know,
Okay.
we made it through the elections and we're
You
getting
did?
all settled with getting our committee chairs and getting our committees back in and going forward.
All
Going to
right.
have a great year this year on the board.
Very good. And I want to remind people again, the Alterations Department phone number is 949-597-4616, and they are open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Make sure you give them a call if you are planning on doing something. We'll be right back. So where is this? Is this why down?
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, visit your local AAA travel agent today.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do you do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
I'd like to welcome Dan Oweiler here today, the president of Sterling Financial Advisors. And among the many things he does, he treats his clients really nice and has casino nights and things like that.
We
And
have a few events.
yeah, and that was a lot of fun. It really is.
We had a group together.
So today we are talking about the cost of living adjustment, and I was
For Social Security.
For Social Security,
Right.
And I was surprised to learn that it's been a while since they've had one, right?
Well, any kind of significant
Yeah,
one. You know, it's been pretty bad since the Great Recession came in, and so the cost of living adjustments for Social Security hasn't been very good. Came in at 2.8% this last year, but that's because we're seeing a little bit of inflation coming back. But
yeah. Now, for the average income or average payment out for Social Security, it really now amounts to maybe about $40 or so.
yeah, it's not much.
$40
I think
a
I
month.
sent you a chart that's up on the
we got it
screen,
up
and,
here,
and it was interesting as I started going back and analyzing.
Look back,
what,
the
well,
last half of the 70s.
That
was
was
pretty
when
darn
Jimmy
good.
Carter was in, you
Yeah.
know, and we had the 16% CDs
Yes,
that we used to be able to get, and
Yep.
those types of things. So from 1975 for 8 years, you know, it was really a pretty good. I mean, one of them was over 14%
that's
cost of
incredible.
living
Yeah.
increase. You know, but on average over the last 43 years, it's average of 3.8%. Okay, not real high,
Yeah.
but if you take out those 8 years from 75 to 82, it's down to 2.8%.
Okay.
Last 10 years, it's 2.1%. So, you know, there was a kind of a anomaly in that from 75 to 82.
Yeah,
you know,
that was, man, anybody collecting it back then for about 7 years, 7, 8 years, wow.
Yeah, the cost of living, and
Of course, things were went up in
fortunately
price.
for us, when it starts to go back down, it doesn't take away from you either.
Yes.
You know, so if you've gotten that inflation kick in and you're able to get higher Social Security, if we have no Social Security increase or cost of living, they don't drop it back down. You remain level.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get those bumps, but over the last few years, we haven't seen anything significant until, you know, 2.8% this last year.
So where does this come from? And what I'm getting at here, I look at 2015,
Right.
where it was zero.
Right.
Well, we all know the reality that prices go up on everything, just about, maybe not electronics, but just about everything every year. So where do they get this
Well,
average
unfortunately, the people that are getting Social Security are 65 or 66 or older.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're taking the average family, not those that are retired, as their cost of living, and so they take it a bucket of goods and services and medical care and things like that. Well, people that are raising families and things don't have the same medical care that seniors do.
Yeah.
And so the cost of medical care continues to go up, where they're not really analyzing that for seniors. They're analyzing it for a younger family, that the normal, you know, middle class family that has a house and things like that for housing. But there's a bucket of goods and services that they utilize on a year-to-year basis.
Okay. And they don't go by state, do they? I mean,
No.
There's no adjustment for living here in Southern California versus living in the middle of
That would
Arkansas.
probably be a good idea, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure Congress would go for that because
Right.
it would cost them more. But obviously, the cost to live in California might be different than in the Midwest somewhere, where, you know, housing isn't as expensive, and maybe some of the gasoline prices isn't expensive, but at the same time, we're not using heating oil here like they do back in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So there's give and take, but it would be nice maybe to get different adjustments for those living in California. I'm not sure people would start moving to California to get a higher cost of living adjustment, but you know, they don't do that. They do it on a federal basis, not on a state basis.
I guess if you have the ability to do so, you could give yourself a raise by just moving out of California, and you're still getting the same amount of Social Security.
Well, believe it or not, I have a lot of clients who do that.
Yeah.
You know, they downsize, or they've got a home here that they bought for, $200,000 or $300,000, and it's now worth $700,000 or $800,000. They don't have a mortgage, so they end up selling, buying something for all cash in Arizona or Florida or someplace, and pocketing $350,000. And so they're able to add to their basically standard of living by just downsizing or moving to a different state that isn't as expensive.
Right. Now that amount, the dollar amount I mentioned, which is $39 a month, but that's for the average person, or the average.
Correct.
They weight it. So, and that would be the average, at least according to what you gave me here, is about $1,461 a month. Now, obviously, you're going by percentage. So if somebody's earning more than less than that, that amount's going to be.
And also that takes into account everybody that's on Social Security. And so you have to recognize that some spouses who didn't work during their lifetimes and they relied on their husband to work, they're not getting the same benefit as somebody who did work. And so they take into account the average, which takes into non-working spouses and everything.
Yeah.
Well, for those people that are maximizing their Social Security contributions every year, which is about $126,000 this year.
Yeah.
So you're taxed on the first $126,000.
Okay.
After that, you're not taxed. You kind of maxed out, and so you don't do that. But somebody who has maxed out their contributions over the last 20, 30 years, when they retire, the benefit is about $2,650.
Okay.
Okay. If you wait till age 70, it goes up to about $3,400.
Yeah.
So planning for Social Security will depend upon what your cash flow is, whether or not you have other assets that you can offset that. And we've talked about this before, is that from 66 to age 70, your benefit increases 8% every year.
Right.
So that's a guaranteed return on your money, so to speak, of 8%, as long as you have other assets that you can utilize to do that.
Yeah.
I met with somebody yesterday. He says, well, I'm not even going to live 10 years. I have heart problems. Well, you should probably take the benefit now rather than waiting till age 70 then.
Yeah.
So the planning process and calculating Social Security, in our projections, we've been using a 1% cost of living adjustment for Social Security, when it's actually been 2.1% over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We like to be a little bit more conservative in our projections, and so we've been using 1% when it's actually been about 2%.
And as you have said in the past, it all depends on the person. Maybe somebody, even when they reach 66 or whatever it might be, maybe they don't need the money, but they're thinking to themselves, I want to take it now because this is money that my child is going to college, or a grandchild or something. So this is money I can use for them or whatever they want to do.
The planning process can take into a lot of things.
Yeah.
If they don't need the money and they start taking it, we can do some, we've talked about this sometimes before, where they may have some other retirement accounts or something, and we can utilize the money maybe to get a life insurance policy that helps pay the taxes for their beneficiaries or whatever it might be, and they can use Social Security to fund that, so they're really not out anything if they don't need the money.
Yeah.
It's kind of like President Trump, who works for $1 a year and now is president.
Yeah.
He's waived his salary because he doesn't need it. Well, that's not the case for a lot of us. Sometimes we can use the money, but in regards to Social Security, a lot of times they don't need that, and we can use that for some long-term tax planning strategies as well.
Yeah, so that's there's all kinds of different formulations depending what people need.
Yeah, it was nice to get a little bit of a bump this year, and 2.8% is you're not going to get wealthy off of that, but every little bit helps for those people that are on fixed incomes and don't have the opportunity to get any additional income coming in.
Yeah. Quick question. What about Medicare? Does that mean there is an increase in Medicare? In other words, I guess I could put it another way. is there a decrease of 2.8% in what you may pay out for Medicare?
No.
How do they formulate? Because obviously that also means that health costs are going up.
Your Medicare payments will probably increase. They always do, because Medicare's always adjusting the contributions that we have to make. I don't know that it's going to be a 2.8% increase, because they usually try to take into account the medical inflation.
Right.
Well, I know medical inflation is more than 2.8%.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's going to come in that next year for Medicare. So, and it all comes down to doing proper planning. I mean, I had a couple come in yesterday, and I've been trying to work with them for about 3 years. They've never kind of pulled the trigger. Well, yesterday they realized, we need to make the move so we can get better than a 0.1% on my savings account, and type of thing. So,
we have talked about the increase of interest rates, and that has already happened, right?
Yeah, that happened in September. When the Fed met, and they're anticipating another maybe 0.25% in December. I don't know whether or not that's going to happen, but with the economy going the way that it's going, and job unemployment is way down. Job opportunities, new job openings are up. So the economy is rolling on pretty well, and the Feds are trying to make sure that we don't get into an inflationary situation. So they're trying to, tamper that down a little bit by raising interest rates a little bit. But, whether or not that'll happen, I don't know. The stock market, we had a fun ride last week. It was a real roller coaster ride for a couple of days, and then earlier this week it went back up 500 points. And so hold on. It's people got real nervous there for a couple of days when it went down 800 points and then another 500. But that's the market. That's not the correction we're going to be talking about. We had the same correction in January.
I remember that.
And it went down about 1,500 points. And these are just little blips in the market. There's going to be a correction. I don't know when, but if I did, I wouldn't be here today, and I'd be in the Bahamas somewhere.
Well, I remember, just like you did, if the day, years ago, if it went down 500 points, boy. That would have been the end of the end.
Well,
but, nowadays it's like.
In 1987, I used this in my seminar. In 1987, the market went down almost 25% in one day. If you did that in today's dollars, that would be 6,000 points.
Right.
So, in one day in 1987, it went down 25%. If that happened today, it'd go down 6,000 points. We got nervous at 800. So, that kind of.
And it didn't take long for it to come back up again. That seems to be the difference, at least right now.
From 2008, it went from 14,000 down to 6,600. Took about 7 years to get back to where it was. So, depending upon the size of the drop will depend upon how much, it takes to recover. So.
All right, Dan, good to have you on today.
Good to see you.
If you want to get a hold of Dan, give him a call at 949-859 8900. I have it right there. I didn't remember at the top of my head, but there it is. SterlingFA.com. He does seminars, and he will always meet with you to see if he can help you out.
There's a complimentary meeting if they'd ever like to come in and chat. No charge.
All right. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Have a good day. I couldn't remember.
When you have confidence in your retirement future, you can live the life you've always imagined. Because of planning, you now have time to reflect on the wonderful memories of your life. You and your spouse finally have the luxury of leisure time together. To spend fun times with your grandkids, sharing the joy of their excitement about life. Smiling at the thought of quality time with your children and of picking up the check. At last, you have time to breathe and rekindle the love of your life. Why? because you imagined what could be. You planned for retirement. So today, you own your future.
The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Choice of second-row captain's chairs or bench seating. Standard eyesight driver assist technology. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with 2 years complimentary maintenance included.
Hi, I'm Wendy Miller, your Laguna Woods real estate professional. Have you been looking for a realtor?
Wendy Miller helped me through the challenging process of real estate here in Laguna Woods. She was helpful, she was fun, she was professional. I really recommend her.
Whether you're thinking of buying, selling, downsizing, or even relocating within Laguna Woods, I am your real estate professional and can help guide you through the entire process. Give me a call and I'll help you make the right move.
If you asked me what I wanted to be when I was a child, I would have told you a princess or an astronaut, maybe even a chef. But things change. I may not have become a princess, but I found someone who treated me like one. I may not have become an astronaut, but I still got to see the world. I may not have become a chef, but you would never leave my house hungry. The Emeritus Institute has kept my love of learning alive. Every day is a new adventure, and the Emeritus classes have made it possible to keep living out my dreams. Sign up today and begin your life's next adventure.
Welcome back. I have the mayor with me today, Mayor Carol Moore of the City of Laguna Woods. We have a lot to talk about. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's so nice to be here.
Yeah.
I always enjoy it.
So a lot of times you start your meetings with proclamations, which is kind of a nice way of recognizing folks, right? And you did a couple the other day, and one was on domestic abuse violence, and the other was the Audubon Society.
Right. The first one, obviously, recognizing it is a problem.
Yeah.
It not only is it a problem, it can affect, depending on the type of abuse, it can affect your brain even. So it's something we need to recognize, and we can work on that. So supporting those people who have experienced it too. And the second one, the Year of the Bird, the Audubon, 2018 is coming toward the end, but 2018 is the Year of the Bird, and we had a thriving Audubon group in the village, and it seems to have, the group is smaller, but there was a proclamation. It's for the Audubon Society, and recognizing that. And the next Wednesday, which is October 24th, those people who are interested meet at Clubhouse 3 in the back near the post office. And we have someone from the Audubon Society take us on a bird walk, an opportunity right here. There are lots of very different types of birds, and we can help identify them.
And I want to just tell folks
Bring
that
binoculars.
You can download, in fact, I have an app on my iPad called the Peterson Guide, and although I'm not really into the birds like that, it is the North American birds. So you can go outside and see a bird and go down by your area. It'll tell you if it's in the area and hear the bird sound.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, so it's really cool. It's
particularly was interesting because there has been an owl in our general area.
Yeah.
And an owl is such a special thing, and hearing it. And then I did see it a couple of times very early in the morning.
Yeah, that's neat. So city manager review.
So, our city manager, wow, we have an outstanding city manager, and we recognize that that Chris, he's very conscientious. Yeah. We also have, as are the employees, so it's a reflection of Chris too, really, for selecting people. So that was in recognition of that. We're very pleased to have Chris.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now, city property and the El Toro Water Oso lift station.
I'm glad you brought that one up,
so tell me about that.
The lift station is west on El Toro of the Gate 9.
Okay.
And a lift station is what the name implies. It's lifting up, we have to go up the hill when you travel on El Toro. Yeah. And so that would be taking the sanitary water, taking it to the plant so that it can be cleaned up again. Of course, we have recycled water, so we're going to use that water again. And that's the best use and the cheapest way to enhance your water supply is to recycle.
Yeah.
Because you already have it. You
Yeah,
have to do it. You don't have to go get it. You don't have to pump it to get it here. It's here. To make sure that there's no overflow, and we wouldn't want that, they have to replace the mechanisms in there, the pumps and so forth, and enlarge it to make sure that we don't have that problem. So the city has some property. This is the best use of the property. It's not a large area, it's a small area. But there is a process, and I'm stressing this because you might think, well, that's a simple thing. If the city has it, you can just deed it over to El Toro and there you go. No, you really have to go through a process, because where we got it, we were allowing the conservation group to have access to it.
Yeah.
And there you can trace all that. In our country, I stress this because I feel so pleased and proud to live in a country that you can trace how money was spent, the the bonds that we buy.
Right.
We can account for it. There are people who are making people respond as to how they use the money, so we know exactly. Same thing with this. We know where the land is. The county is involved in approving, and so it's all documented.
All right, very good. So you want to talk a bit, touch on the Cannabis Collective concern. So tell me about that.
That wasn't on the agenda, but there were about 35 people who attended the meeting, and people who had concerns, people who use marijuana in various ways for health issues, and they feel that they get good response from that. And so they had some concerns, but part of it was confusion. The city has not had any vote or changed any position. The position was the state. The state did not allow, in the writing of the law, it did not allow for collectives. So collectives will terminate December 31st. So there's that confusion. We have no control over that. The only control we would have, and you can have marijuana or its derivatives delivered to your house. That's certainly within the law. You can buy it, you can do what you need. You can actually grow a number of plants for your own specific use, so that's still there. The issue had to do with licensing, and the licensing problem is that you can't legally select one party to be licensed and then exclude all others. So there's a process there. So that's where the confusion comes. So.
All right. Some events that are coming up, and one of them is coming up on the 27th this month, National Prescription Medication Take-Back Day. And this is something that is done in conjunction with the county, with the Orange County Sheriff.
Absolutely, 10 to 2. And you can bring any prescriptions that you've had that you didn't, those, please don't flush them down the toilet, obviously, and don't throw them in the trash. So giving them back to bringing them to City Hall, there's no questions asked. They are then taken and disposed of in a safe way for everyone. So that's on October 27th, 10 to 2.
And coming up, and we have mentioned this on our Social Security show, that you folks work with HICAP, which is the Health Insurance Counseling and Advocacy Program. And you will be having an event coming up on the 30th. And we like to mention that what these folks do, they do not recommend any insurance company or anything like that. They give out information and maybe help the individual wade through what may be best for them.
You described it very well, because that's exactly it. They're going to have any counseling, objective counseling. They're not advocating for any certain group or whatever, but they can help you to make certain you have the plan that's appropriate for you. Thank you for that.
It's confusing.
It is. Oh, very.
Yeah.
And think how much help is out there if we just know where it is.
Yeah, and that's the key, because it is out there.
It
and
is.
I think one thing in Orange County in general, we have a lot of help when it comes to those kind of things. It's just having the knowledge of where to go.
That's right.
Or at least to ask, where can I get this help? And you know, I can tell you offhand, there's 3 places very quickly. You can ask the city, you can ask Florence Sylvester, and you can ask our own Social Security or Social Services Department, just to point you started in the right direction of things like
You're
this.
right. Thank you for that. That's true.
Now, coming up in November 7th, we're mentioning this now because your council meeting is after this date, the OCTA Access bus, the paratransit bus services.
It's going to be at City Hall, and I hope
Yeah.
people who have thought about using it or don't know what it is, it's an opportunity to come. They will explain how you can use it, how you qualify, who's eligible, and how it works. And that is November 7th, 9 a.m. at the city. Might not hurt to call the city and say you're coming so that we have enough chairs and everything's available.
Yeah.
OC Access has been in our area for a long time, but I did want to point out something that's happening. We are not getting it in our zone, but it's something that's out there, and a trial is happening in Westminster, Huntington Beach, Aliso Viejo, and Mission Viejo, and that's called OC Flex. OC Flex is, if you're in those areas, you can download an app. Well, you can do it with cash too, or card, but they will pick you up at your door in those areas.
Okay.
But if you're in that area, you can use it, and you can go. It's $4.50 if you use the app, $5 if you pay without the app.
Oh, that's
it
great.
saves
I
them.
didn't know that.
It is, and it takes you where you need to go, to restaurants, to key areas. So that is a possible program. We would love to have it in our community. Be very
Sounds good.
handy.
And one more we like to tell you about. We talked about this before when Carol was on with David Cohen, and that is the dog park. And they're doing a fundraiser. We got this up on the screen here.
Great.
How you can get on the founder's wall. And this is great. You need to do this by October 31st. And you can get your, maybe you want to put your favorite pet's name on there, or whatever it might be. But this is a great way to help raise some funds for this dog park.
Thank you for bringing that up, and we are running out of time. October 31st is an opportunity to be recognized on a plaque inside on the wall, because that is opening. One last thing that I hadn't mentioned was the South Orange County Mayor's Association. I attended a breakfast yesterday morning, and I'm bringing that up because some of the county people gave reports and on the homeless. We are getting very close to matching beds with people.
Okay.
So those are some things that are happening too.
All right, very good. Always
Thanks.
a pleasure to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You take care, and we're going to bring you a segment for Thrive coming up. And I do want to mention, by the way, that Sonia Marsh is doing a wonderful event coming up about her travels, and this one is Africa, Travel with a Purpose. And this is coming up, I got to look behind me, today at 5 to 7 at the Village Greens. This will be a lot of fun. Sonia Marsh is just well-traveled, and this is going to be a lot of fun. She's going to have some photos and all that.
I've been there. That is interesting.
Yeah. So here's our segment coming up right after this of Thrive.
Thank you.
I have a question for you.
You bet.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this segment where we spotlight someone who is thriving in the village. We're sitting in front of this marvelous African Serengeti vista because nature and travel are very important to our guest today, who is Miss Sonia Marsh. Hi Sonia, welcome to our segment.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Wonderful. You know, what we would like to know about you is your entire life experience with traveling and working in other cultures, but I think we need to get a synopsis of that because I want to bring us up to date with how you're thriving in Laguna Woods Village. So could you give us
Yes, I could talk for hours and hours, but I know we don't have much time. So let me explain that I'm thrilled to be in Laguna Woods. It is an absolutely fabulous place. I am so happy I moved here in March, but stepping back a little bit to explain how did I get here. When I was living in Lake Forest in 2015, I had been married for 28 years and I got a divorce. And I didn't know what to do with my life. So I decided to join the Peace Corps. And I applied, and the first time I was rejected, which really hurt my feelings. So I reapplied the next day, and I ended up getting asked to go to a country called Lesotho in southern Africa. It is a tiny country, the size, well, on the map it looks like a little soccer ball, and it is up in the mountains, 6,000 feet, and I was teaching orphans, and that was a start to my adventure in travel.
My goodness, so you were actually working in an orphanage?
Yeah, about 60% of the children were orphans and the rest were vulnerable children, and there were about 350 student or people living in the village.
Yes.
And I was, helping teaching English to these children. I blogged about it, and this is what helped and motivated me to talk about travel to other people, is that I got so many people involved in donations. They wanted to help in my village.
And did it open up other venues? Now I can travel somewhere else, and I can perhaps do good works there, or I can just experience these cultures.
Right. So I lived in a very primitive hut with absolutely no electricity, no running water, no toilet, no shower. And believe me, that is a life-changing experience. Yes. So I went from that, and I would, as I say, I had a computer and I would blog, and a lot of people were following what I was doing. And they were so generous, helping with the children and the orphans, sending things. So when I came back which was actually just last year in January, a lot of my friends were saying, you know what, how can we would love to help, we would love to travel, but we're scared. Africa is a scary place. And I tried to tell them, you know what, Africa is really not a scary place. It's the fear of the unknown, which applies to everything in life. If you're not sure about something, you're of course scared. Yes. So anyway, it led to me wanting to find a place to live, which was here in Laguna Woods. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to start my own travel club, because I want to motivate and inspire people to travel, not just to Africa, but around the world, but my main focus is Africa.
And you mentioned to me in another conversation that it was also in part because when you came back from these experiences, you found yourself changed. You said that you had more clarity. Yeah. You felt more empowered. Is that part of your thriving?
So I totally agree. Whenever you go on a trip, especially if you go outside your comfort zone or into a new culture, you come back, things that seem like a problem before, you come back and you think, well, really, that was not a problem. And it's almost like it clears up your mind and you can think about things in a different manner.
Yeah, certainly your priorities.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Yes. So some of the experiences that you had there, I know you have gone to on gorilla treks.
Yes.
Is that something, it looks like you're getting very up close and personal to these gorillas. So you get very close to the animals that you encounter, don't you?
So let me explain. So I didn't really have a job when I came back. And I decided that I really want to help and motivate people to travel, as I said, especially Africa, which people are scared to go, but it's on nearly everyone's bucket list, especially as they get older.
Yeah.
And so I decided to start some small travel groups together. And I have been fortunate to go back to Africa 4 times in the last year. And one of the times I went to Rwanda and I went gorilla trekking. And there I saw, I was standing maybe a little bit further than you, where you're sitting, but maybe about 10 feet away from the gorillas. And they're habituated, so you are not alone. You don't have to be scared. You go with guides who know these gorillas. And we climbed up, it's not steep, but we climbed up a little bit for an hour of trekking, and then you see the family of gorillas, and it was just an unbelievable experience.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And what are some of the other animals that you have encountered?
So I have been to Rwanda, and I've been to Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Zambia, all that in the last year. And I also went to South Africa in May, and there is a place called Madikwe, which is the border of Botswana and South Africa, where there's no malaria. So we tell people you don't even have to worry about malaria.
That was a question I was wondering about.
There are certain areas where you just don't, there aren't any mosquitoes there. And I saw these young elephants, and I showed you the video of these 2 elephants which we're looking at. And those elephants were 2 young bull elephants, and we were just on a normal morning game drive. You know, the Jeeps hold 6 people, so everybody has a clear view. And the guides are so important because they explain what's going on. So at first I thought, are these elephants fighting?
Right.
And it looks like they're fighting.
Well, it looks like it was staged for you.
Yeah.
You know, here, now we're going to park here and watch these elephants. But they were just spontaneously doing this.
They were spontaneous. It's like teenage boys.
Yeah, right.
They
That's
were
what they
just
look like.
wrestling with one another. And then if you watch the video, you'll see the bottom of the first elephant pushing his buddy in the face, and we started laughing.
How amazing, how amazing. Now, another question that I have about the accommodations, because, you know, I have in my mind that I'm not going to experience something that's very comfortable if I go, and again, this is just me.
Right.
Tell me what it would be, what it would look like, what would it be like?
So, as I said, I lived in a primitive hut,
Yes.
and, you know, a lot of us think that Africa is primitive, and you're going to rough it. To be honest with you, I have never in my life seen such unbelievably beautiful lodges. And when we say a tented camp, we're not talking about a tent like you would bring to Joshua Tree, which I did. Yeah.
Yes.
These are some of them are 1,000 square foot tents with a luxurious bathtub, double sinks, a king-size bed, 5-course meals. So these are unbelievably gorgeous.
Unbelievable, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wow, that was very unexpected. So one of the things that I have to ask you about, since this is our Thrive episode, what would I expect if I went on one of these excursions with you? Would I come back feeling, what, fill in the blank? How would I feel? How would it help me?
Well, I am actually leading a trip with 10 women, and I'm going to do other trips to Kenya. And we are going to visit an orphanage in Nairobi, and then we're going to take the children to see the wildlife. They've never seen elephants. These are orphans. And so we're going to go there, and then we'll go to the elephant orphanage where you can adopt an elephant. So I think Africa has this, you know, a lot of people say you go to Africa for the wildlife, but you come back and it's the people.
The humanity of it.
The humanity. And that is a big surprise for a lot of people. How generous, how kind, how loving, and really, they're always smiling.
But if I'm a writer, I'm going to probably be inspired to write about something. If I'm an artist, I'm going to want to paint or sculpt, or certainly a photographer. I mean, so there are people who are already doing some of these activities here saying that would be a great place to go to get this additional level of inspiration.
I totally agree with you. And as a writer myself, and knowing there are several writers groups in Laguna Woods, I'm going to put together a writers retreat as well for writers to go, and a yoga retreat, because the nature there, think about it, you're out, it is so quiet, there's no one else around you except the animals. And, you know, you don't have to worry about it because we are protected. It's not like we're, you know, in danger. Why would they want to put us in danger?
No.
If we were in danger, nobody would want to go.
No, of course not.
So I am starting a travel club, which here called Travel with a Purpose. And the first meeting is next week. And my goal is to inspire people to actually come. Well, we're going to have speakers, presenters.
Let's just say that you have the club meeting from time to time, because our air date might miss that next week's session. So you have them on a regular basis, so people can come, and you'll be sharing some footage of the trip that you've recently taken. And then you'll be talking about the trip that's coming up, so people can see and make plans. Well, I cannot thank you enough for coming in, and I'm inspired to go. I'm really seriously interested in coming along with you, because it wasn't even anything that was on my radar screen, you know, and you bumped this way up my bucket list. So thanks for doing that, because I think it will be a very enriching experience, and something that will probably change my life a little bit, and that's a good thing. So Sonia, your contact information, we're going to put it up on the screen. It's sonia@soniamarsh.com. Is that what it is?
That's my email.
That's your email.
It's Sonia with an I, not a J or a Y.
Oh, okay, that's good. Well, we'll put it up on the screen so people can find you.
Yes.
And that's going to be absolutely amazing. We want to hear all about it.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that I am inspired living here in Laguna Woods, because there's so much going on. And I think you know, if you can't find something to do, it's pretty sad because this could be a full-time job just living in Laguna Woods.
Yes.
With all the activities.
With all of our resources.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
And it's always changing too. It's not the same things. There are always new things that are being, like your club. So there's lots of new things that provide new opportunities for us. Thank you, Sonia. I just am so pleased to know you and to be a part of your wonderful sphere of travel and these wonderful cultural experiences. And I thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Cindy.
And we thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have a Thrive experience that you would like to share with us, or if you want to nominate someone who is having a Thrive experience, please contact us using the information that we're showing on the screen right now. And please be sure to watch the Thrive Show on Thursday mornings on Village Television at 9:30. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm John Bowser-Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
Right.